I want to address the idea that major players haven't just been sitting on the sidelines. They've been integrating, developing, adopting. And when you hear announcements like this one right here, it's not that, oh, you know, I thought about this yesterday and I guess it's a good idea now. No, they've been working on this for a long time. And now that we can see the Clarity Act on the horizon, it's getting ready to come our way. And I'm feeling pretty good about the idea of it getting passed before this year's over. Okay, now the major players can reveal, hey, we're interested. Now they couldn't tip their hats before because they were trying to fight the industry. They didn't want to have to compete. Let me put it to you that way. But to compete now, they have to integrate. They might buy out some of these blockchain projects, or they might be taken over by some of these blockchain projects, or they may become irrelevant. I don't think that's an option for something as large as Morgan Stanley over here. It says, supposedly just in, 1.7 trillion Morgan Stanley invests in crypto infrastructure, zero hash. Invest in means buy a stake in, maybe they buy it out. Maybe it's just a small investment. Now, we talked about Vanguard just the other day. There's a couple videos back. They're a $9 trillion firm. It's a $1.7 trillion firm here. The major players are going to jump off the bench, and they're already going to be suited up and have their helmet. They're ready. They're trained. They had summer camp. Make no mistake, they know what's up. They've been waiting. And keep in mind, Ripple has had this 1,700 NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, sitting out there, and they haven't expired yet. Who do you think they had them with? Firms like this. And firms like a little place known as BlackRock. Check this out. It says BlackRock plus XRP ledger, check mark. Yes, bullish. Securitize says that with RLUSD liquidity now live for BlackRock's BUIDL. When you see RLUSD, it's XRP because it runs on the XRP ledger. You need XRP to run transactions, RLUSD transactions. And BUIDL is a project from BlackRock. They are connected. And VanEck VBIL also. Their CEO and then talks about what they're discussing there about collateral. And you're going to see it in the video. They're talking about collateral and quality collateral. Well, the most regulated stablecoin, the highest regulated stablecoin is RLUSD. It is the highest quality stablecoin there is. And it's growing very quickly. And they understand that. So that's BlackRock, VanEck. We just talked about Morgan Stanley. And Vanguard just a little while back. I mean, that's a lot of companies. And they're not the only ones. There's a lot more. You're going to have Schwab. You're going to have TIA Cref. You're going to have all the major players rushing in, hedge funds, people who manage retirement accounts. I think Fidelity's already got a spot ETF application in, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong about that. But they're all going to be in. They have to. Because as you've heard me say, and you've heard government officials and large financial institution CEOs say exactly this. Everything will be tokenized. You better figure out how you're going to be in there. What venues are you going to use to participate? Because there is not an option. It is not a choice. And if you have your seat at the table, if you are participating in the digital asset space as an investor, it's like going to the biggest candy store you can think of on Halloween with a nice little bag, an expandable bag, and it's empty. And that candy store on Halloween, when you knock on that door, and the Clarity Act passes, they're going to fill your bag, and it's just going to become like a Santa Claus bag. That's how I kind of see it. And you got to be safe, right? You got to keep your. I like institutional custody, not cold storage wallets. I've been done with those for nearly a year now. A little more actually than a year now. No more cold storage wallets. No more hot storage. No more keeping it, anything online on a hot wallet, or on an exchange. Protect your stuff. We did. We don't want to even think about it. We just want it out there protected with institutional custody. And you got to find your own. I'm not going to sit here and advocate for one or the other. You go find yours. You need to be smart. You need to educate yourself and figure it out. It's out there. It's an AI search away and start figuring these things out. But this is coming, and they don't even have an option, and they know it. Governments don't have an option. The US government has zero option. It doesn't matter who the president would have been. This was coming, and it had to happen because the US dollar was printed into oblivion. And so the world has no real faith in the US dollar anymore as a world reserve currency. So that's why you see the price of gold going up. You see silver going up. And there's going to be stablecoin wars, currency wars. They won't last too long, but it's going to happen. People are going to try to finagle their way into it. So if the U.S. wants to stay sharp, they need to lead and lead by example. And that's why I believe that Clarity Act, it's not an option. They got to get it done, and they will. They'll get it done. But if, as I mentioned, you already have your seat at the table, man, I'm not going to say it's going to be Halloween, but it's going to feel like that. It's going to feel like Christmas. I mean, I can tell you this time last year, from October, November, December, we went from 50 cents to over $3 on XRP. That felt like Christmas. You see your balances just fly. And we're about to see it again, and I think it'll be bigger, and it'll continue for the ISO 20022 coins, the coins with use cases, with real utility in the real world. So just things to keep in mind. We're going to listen to the soundbite here because this is key. Listen to what he says. Real collateral. They're going to need to use it. That's the way it works. And they're going to use blockchain interconnected with BIDL, with RLUSD, Ripple, and their XRP. So check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, and bookmark. We'll see you guys on the next one. Till next time, adios, amigos.
Securitized is partnering with Ripple. Regulated yield-bearing assets move with stablecoin-like speed and flexibility.
Look, in traditional markets, I have very high quality collateral. But the problem is that collateral, which is very high quality, it moves very slowly. Because when I want to post those collateral or move it, or when I want to lend against it during the weekend, etc., those options are not available because markets move at the speed they move, and sometimes they are closed, etc. I said in crypto, people tend to use, either crypto assets or stable coins to post as collateral, which move very fast, right? So I think that, tokenized treasuries like BIDL or BVL, they kind of merge the best of both worlds, right? They give you the same high quality, assets that you have on TradFi as collateral, but they move at the speed of stable coins. But now, of course, if they get liquidated, they need to be moved back into like digital dollars, right? Tokenized dollars. This is why integrating, tokenized treasury funds like BIDL and BVL with stable coins like RLUSD is very critical for the whole thing to work properly.